Hey, and welcome back to Survival Records, where I haven't loaded into the game yet because I wanted to address a question I had in one of my comments, which was about the mods I have and how many there were. I suppose one thing to discuss is that, the number of mods you have in in Space Engineers isn't really as much as you think. This few dozen mods here, that's not as much as it could be. So I just wanted to go through them real quick and just talk about what they do and why I have them where they are in their load order. Now, I am by no means an expert in this. I don't really know if I'm doing it right, but so far my game hasn't crashed, so apparently I'm not doing it wrong. But at the top of the load order here is HUD API and RichHudMaster, and both of those are in here because these other mods like Screen Gunk Be Gone and Build Vision and BuildInfo, even camera panning, HUD Compass, they all require those two mods or one of those two mods to be able to work. All those mods do is they allow other mods to be able to affect the they can affect the screen. Screen Gunk Be Gone is in vanilla. There's a lot of texture on the screen when you're like in first person or if you're looking through a cockpit that maybe is realistic, but it makes it hard to see what's going on, and it certainly makes it harder to see the stuff that the gameplay footage that you're looking at for when I'm trying to record and make it look like a good video. Build Vision and BuildInfo I use a lot. I'm not sure. I think it's Build Vision is the one where when you're looking at a block, you can press Control middle mouse button and it pulls up a menu for that block. So it lets you do things like manipulate the attachments on a rotor, that sort of thing. BuildInfo is one, and it specifically includes the air leak finder. And I also think it has the info that displays on the screen about the hit points of a block and whether it's airtight or not. The camera panning. In vanilla Space Engineers, the camera cannot look around. You have to be able to mount it on another turnstile in order to be able to look at different directions. With camera panning, it lets you pan the camera around a pretty large area of view while, it's the vanilla camera. Extended range ore detector does exactly that. It makes the vanilla ore detectors range out to 400 meters for the small one and 800 meters for the large one. I've only got that one installed because I'm doing the Procedurally Generated Ore mod. HUD Compass, again, it is a compass on the HUD for when you're in a gravity well. It tells you where north is. The north, south, east, west, all that information is in the game already, but for some reason the base game doesn't have it there. No jetpacks on planets. All that really does is it changes the consumption rate of your jetpack to be affected by the gravity, the natural gravity in the area you're in. So the higher the natural gravity, the quicker the hydrogen consumption rate your jetpack uses. No stone to ingot makes it so you can't turn stone into gravel and iron and nickel and silicon. It's just gravel. You have to get iron, nickel, and silicon from those specific ores. The paint gun, I think you might have seen me use it a few times. It allows you to paint areas of the grid that you're painting with sort of more pinpoint accuracy, whereas with the vanilla painting, you kind of have to be able to touch the block. You don't have to do that with paint gun. Procedurally generated ore. In the vanilla game, the procedurally generated ore is a the ore patches in the vanilla game are evenly spaced out, very precisely spaced out on the planet's surface. So if you find one or two, you can easily determine where all of them around it will be. The ores there, while the vanilla game does have some variance in which ores are located in which areas, it doesn't have as much impact on your gameplay as I wanted. So with this version of this mod, the procedurally generated ore mod, you are obligated to start off in Earth where there's cobalt. Now, I say with this version of it, really what this mod author did was he created a tool, used the tool to create his initial concept version for the mod, but then also provided the tool to other modders so they can make the ores on their planets be as thick or dense or large or small as they wanted to, making it so that finding a big ore patch is more of a challenge for your gameplay. UfoL's bullet trails is all it does is it just makes it so that every bullet that's fired is a tracer bullet. It looks cool for the video, and I guess it makes it a little easier because you can always see if bullets are coming at you. That's all it really does. AwwScrap is when you are grinding up something. Typically in the vanilla game, you get the pieces that something is made of back into your inventory. With the one big exception to that I know of is power cells, where if you're grinding those up, they come back as scrap. Normally, scrap you only get from that source, or from if a piece is damaged and you're repairing it, you pull scrap out of it. With AwwScrap, everything you grind turns into a scrap component of that thing, which you then have to melt and use your refinery to refine it back into its native function. Defense shields is the one sort of outside vanilla thing that I have on here. It just adds a defensive shield to ships, or it allows you to build it and to make it defensive. I feel like it's just going to allow me to be more risk-taking with my stuff once I have shields on there, and I don't have to constantly be rebuilding stuff. Sneaky sounds, quieter tools. It makes things quieter so that it's easier to hear me talking and also hear yourself thinking while you're playing the game. And then we get to the bottom of the list here, and everything down here is all basically part of the same thing. The Modular Encounter Spawner is a tool that can be used by these other mods down here to add stuff to the game. Perpetually Perturbed Pirates is in there because in the base game, there's good guys and pirates. And so if you are out there doing mean things to the good guys, the pirates will like you better. If you're doing mean things to the pirates, the good guys might like you better. With Perpetually Perturbed Pirates, no matter what, if you can never become friendly with pirates by doing things against the good guys, because there's other bad guys now introduced by the Modular Encounter Spawner. RivalAI is a mod that affects the artificial intelligence, the AI, the pathing, the choices of NPCs, and it's used in conjunction with MES. Reavers, Terrorverse, is a collection of different ship types and behaviors that are a threat to the player. They, characteristically, what they do is they spawn in and then they start moving around until they get within range of a antenna. Once they've gotten in range of that antenna, or potentially a beacon, they will identify that as their target and they will go. Now, one thing I've noticed is as soon as they spawn in, it seems that that's when they notice it. So you can't, like, see them spawn in and then quickly turn off your stuff. Or maybe you can. Maybe I just messed it up. I'm not sure. Assertive cargo ships, the RivalAI test build. Now, there are not multiple assertive cargo ships mods. There's the RivalAI test build, and then there are the ones that don't use RivalAI. This test build version includes the cargo ships and the bases and the fortifications all in one mod, as well as the cargo ships and the drones that spawn in as their defenses. Wasteland Encounters adds a handful of interesting crashed ships for a wasteland that you could find. Corruption PvE Combat is going to add in more drones that will come at you, though I think it's somewhat limited to in space. Martin the Monster adds a little monster that can attack you on Mars. Now, you'll notice that some of the mods that I was using earlier in the series have been removed. Like over here, we've got surface occupation is one. That's where things like those, where the atmospheric fighter docking station that I was concerned about back on the Earth-like planet comes from. And also that frontier outpost that I assaulted. That comes from the surface occupation mod. I removed it because I wanted to play more with the assertive cargo ship stuff and the Reavers and whatnot. Since I'd transitioned to a new planet, I thought maybe I was in a new act. And in fact, that's why I have the save called Act 2. But let's hop on in, and I'll skip you the loading panels, but once we get in there, we will take that Sunfish atmospheric fighter out and see about getting it loaded up. Or see how she fares against a actual NPC ship. I'll see you then. Alright, I've been letting this thing charge up. I put a little battery on there. And I just got a drone ups alarm alert call. So, alright, let's turn off the charge. Let's unlock. Alright. Now, we are here. And let's get out of the cave. Oh, that's an antenna. What did I do that for? Okay, I'm gonna have to fix that first before I go anywhere. Alright, I'll bring you guys back.